This is Boxing Talk 8576, man. I'm doing this response vid to a guy by the name of 74. He has a what is I think his name is Brian 74, but he calls himself 74. Not to get it mixed up with 78. But he was doing a video about Ray Leonard, and fighters, fighters in general being a little overrated. You know how fighters are generally a little bit overrated than what their career actually really was, or really is. So I want to talk about Ray Leonard's career because he said although Ray Leonard had a very good amateur career, he does not believe Ray Leonard had a very impressive pro career. But what I want to say is this: Ray Leonard, in my opinion, had a very good and impressive pro career, although it was short. And he had only 40 fights. In those 40 fights, Ray Leonard did way more in those 40 fights than a guy that had 50, 60, 70, 80 fights. Ray Leonard's career was very compact, but he did a lot in that short amount of time and fought a lot of very important fights and all of the right fights, in my opinion, for him to build his legacy the way it was. Ray Leonard, he fought Wilfred Benitez. Wilfred Benitez is considered one of the best Puerto Rican fighters of all times, right along with Cotto and Felix Trinidad, and it's another guy that I'm forgetting, but he's considered one of the best Puerto Rican fighters of all times. Ray Leonard fought him in his prime, not when Wilfred Benitez was all worn down, broken down. No, when Wilfred Benitez was undefeated in his prime. I believe Sugar Ray Leonard won a WBC title from him that night, by stoppage. So, to me, that's impressive. Wilfred Benitez, and at the same time, Wilfred Benitez was the youngest champion ever, I believe, on record. I think he was 17 years old when he won his first title. That was impressive. Another thing that was impressive, Ray Leonard beat and stopped one of the best 147-pounders ever to ever lace up a pair of gloves in Thomas Hearns. Stopped him. It was a great fight. Thomas Hearns had put up a great fight. They both put up great fights. Thomas Hearns was winning the fight, in my opinion, hands down, and then Ray Leonard stopped him. Thomas Hearns had knocked out just about everybody up until that point. Knocked guys out cold. I mean, like, go look at that Corvez fight when he knocked that one guy out, man. Knocked him out cold. That was impressive. He lost to Roberto Duran. Yeah, people say, Roberto Duran was a lightweight when he came up and fought Ray Leonard. That's true. But Roberto Duran and Ray Leonard, beat him in a no-mas fight, kind of, embarrassed him so much that he quit. Ray Leonard was winning the fight. Duran knew he was winning the fight. He couldn't get to Ray Leonard like he did in the first fight, which the first fight was a great fight. If people go back and look at that fight, that was a great fight. And he did good in the second fight, won the second fight. But Roberto Duran is a guy that ended up winning a title belt at 160 pounds. Roberto Duran moved up in weight. Roberto Duran gave Marvin Hagler a great fight. I mean, a great fight. Marvin Hagler said that was one of the hardest fights he had ever had. That was impressive by Ray Leonard to come back and win that fight after getting beat in a 15-round fight the first time. In the first fight, to me, a lot of people say, that he lost it. He lost bad, but no, that was a great in the trenches fight, man. Go back and look at that fight. Roberto Duran did edge him out by a couple rounds, but go look at that fight, man. That was a great fight. If you want to see a great fight, that's a great fight. To me, that was impressive. Ray Leonard beat a guy at 154 pounds to capture a title. Now I'm not saying that guy was a legend, but that's impressive to your first fight at 154 pounds and you win a title. To me, that's something that's impressive. That's an impressive thing to do. And we all know Ray Leonard beat Marvin Hagler. And at that point, yeah, Marvin Hagler was a little bit older. I can't admit Marvin Hagler was a little bit older, but Marvin Hagler had not lost in like 10 years. Marvin Hagler had just knocked out John the Beast Mugabe. That was a grueling fight, but he had just knocked out John the Beast Mugabe, who that guy was knocking everybody out at 160 pounds, 154 pounds. So that was impressive. And then Ray Leonard was coming off a 4-year layoff. People don't throw that in there. Yes, Sugar Ray Leonard was a little bit older himself. Yes, Hagler was a little bit older, but Ray Leonard did come off a 4-year layoff. His first fight, not a tune-up, he went to go fight Marvin Hagler. No tune-up, and won the fight. Now, a lot of people say Hagler won. I say Leonard won. Let me put this out here. Ray Leonard is my favorite fighter, but I can put everything in perspective with Ray Leonard too. I don't just think he's God gift to the boxing world. Yeah, Ray Leonard had his, you know what I'm saying? Ray Leonard had his downfalls. He had his hiccups. But Ray, in that short amount of compact career that he had with 40 fights, he fought the important fights. Now, the only fight I can say that he didn't fight that I would have loved to see him fight was the lightweight, God damn it, what's his name, man? I get his name, but I'm gonna continue talking. But I would love to see him fight that fight. But other than that, Ray Leonard fought all the important fights. He didn't duck his primary fights. He fought all the guys in their prime. You know what I'm saying? Ray Leonard, to me, Ray Leonard had the gauntlet. He could have fought anybody he wanted to fight. But Ray Leonard challenged greatness. And that's what you do. That's impressive when you challenge greatness. He fought and beat one of the best 160-pound fighters, definitely the best 160-pound fighter in that era, and Marvin Hagler, a legend. That's impressive. That's one legend. He beat Duran, one of the best lightweights and one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of all times, and a legend. That's impressive. He beat Thomas Hearns, one of the best 147-pounders ever, and a legend. That's impressive. So when you say that Ray Leonard did not have an impressive career, are you judging it on he didn't have a long he didn't have a lot of longevity, or he didn't have a lot of fights? Because in my opinion, you don't have to have a lot of fights as long as you have the right fights. I don't care about having all these meaningless fights. Fight the right people at the right time, I'm satisfied. If you fight the right people at the right time, I'm satisfied. You ain't got to fight Joe Blow 20 times. Go fight a 20 Joe Blows. No. Like Lomachenko. Right now, Lomachenko is fighting important fights. Lomachenko is fighting. He's going to have a compact career. But in his compact career, he's going to have a lot of good fights in his compact career. I'd rather have a compact career without longevity as long as I fight the right fights. And that's what Ray Leonard did. Ray Leonard challenged greatness. So, you know, the guy that's they call himself 74, I know he's probably around about my age. I'm 41. He's probably around about my age. I didn't see all the Ray Leonard fights at the exact time he fought. I seen some of Ray Leonard fights. I was young and you know, just looking at TV with my uncles, you know, walking around, running around the house playing with toys. But I clearly remember them when they was sitting up there watching the Ray Leonard Thomas Hearns fight. I remember watching that fight with them. I didn't know, you know, I wasn't that well invested in boxing then, of course. I was only like, 8, 9 years old. So I wasn't that informed in boxing at that time. But no, I think I was like 6, maybe 6. But I did see that fight. The fight that I distinctly remember is when he got beat up by Terrible Terry Norris, and he lost against Hector Camacho. I remember that fight. But I went back on YouTube and watched all Leonard career fights, all his fights, And Leonard was an impressive fighter. He had an impressive style. He had charisma. He had everything you need, crowd-pleasing style, crowd-pleasing fighter. And he just had to me, he had an impressive career. We all lose. You know what I'm saying? He lost. Yes, he lost. But the man had in his prime, Ray Leonard was one of the best fighters that ever stepped in the ring, that ever stepped inside the ring, period. And, is he, of course, guys do get a little overhyped. I do believe in that. As your career moves down the road, and you hear folk tales about your career, guys tell about your career, and from one mouth to the next mouth, it does get hyped. One guy may not put it in. You may tell a guy how he fought, or he may have seen how Ray Leonard fought, and he didn't put it in the right perspective. And yeah, people do overhype it. As you move further and further away from your career, people will overhype Mayweather as he moves further and further from his career. But those who were in the know, in the era, seeing Mayweather. I seen Mayweather since he was in the Olympics. I seen Mayweather always from the Olympics all the way up to now, to his retirement. I can tell you that, yes, while Mayweather was undefeated, he didn't fight a lot of guys in their prime either. He didn't fight a lot of to me, Mayweather didn't fight the right fights at the right time. You know what I'm saying? He did it the way he wanted to do it, and your legacy get judged by the way you handle it. You know what I'm saying? He said he wasn't in it to see who the best was. He was in it to make a lot of money, which I got a lot of respect for that. The man had a mission. He made a lot of money, and he achieved the mission. But his legacy takes a hit because he did not fight when he had the gauntlet to fight anybody he wanted to fight. He didn't fight those guys. And like Mayweather said, he didn't have a boss. So he could have fought. And people wanted to make that money. People wanted the so-called Mayweather sweepstakes. Paul Williams said, "Pay me $1 million, Mayweather, I'll fight you." Margarito wanted to fight you. You didn't fight those guys. So, hey, it is what it is. To me, Sugar Ray Leonard had an impressive career. And what he did in beating the legends that he beat, like a lot of fighters go through their whole career, don't beat legends, don't even beat the legends of the sport, or don't even beat the best fighters of their era. Ray Leonard did that. Ray Leonard beat the best fighters of his era. Period. Hands down. Now, do people overrate fighters? Yes. Probably in my mind, do I overrate Sugar Ray Leonard some? Probably yes. But I can also put his career in perspective to the point to where I can look at that man's career and say, that man fought the right people at the right time. So, it is what it is. 74. I mean, I think you said you didn't see all the Ray Leonard fights. Maybe you did, or maybe you didn't. But you have to go back and you have to consider the guys who he fought, when he fought them, and how he fought them in their prime and how they were legends. Because you even brought up in your video, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys don't fight legends. You brought up in your video before this video talking about Ray Leonard and Mayweather going at it. How you don't think Mayweather fought any legends. Sugar Ray Leonard don't have that problem. He fought legends. He fought legends of the sport. So, it is what it is. But, this is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.